Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia, and this is Let the Lady Speak. We have healthy discussions about life, love, dating, and relationships while promoting self love and healing. Also, take lessons we can learn from reality shows. Tonight, I want to try something new. I'm going to watch and react to Married at First Sight. I'm not going to do it live. I'm pre-recording, but I just kind of want to see how this will work if I was to choose to do a live, because as I'm watching this show, I always have initial reactions. So I thought it'd be fun to share it with you guys. So that's what we're going to do. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for subscribing. If you are returning, welcome back, fam. It's good to see you. If you are just passing through, hello, please consider subscribing to my channel if you like the content. Please leave your comments below. I love to hear you guys' thoughts on the show, on my commentary, your own analysis, and your own thoughts as well. I really enjoy talking with you guys and connecting with you in the comments. So let's get into tonight's episode. So far, they kind of went over what happened already, and we go look at every couple. Um, for Elijahuan and Katina, I don't think this is gonna last a month, sis. I don't think you're gonna hold out that long. But they were cute. I'm happy they didn't show his underwear again, though. I didn't like that they did that to him. But anyway, um, I like them. He seems really willing to want to work on it. So let's see how this goes. It's still very, 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 very early on, and they don't know each other. And right now, he's just in all of her beauty. So let's see. Personality can change the way a person looks to you if the personality isn't good. Next, we have Michael and Lindsay, and we get a little more backstory on the situation with Lindsay and her mom. Now, she says she sets strong boundaries with her mother. I wonder if Lindsay and her mom are a lot alike, and that is why they butt heads, because Lindsay does not understand boundaries. So to say that she set strong boundaries with her mother, and that's why there's a rift in their relationship, makes me think that they may be one of the same in personality. So we will see. She reassures Mark that she would help Mark. I didn't like that she called his mom by the first name. I come from old Southern family. That's a no-no. If you do, you have to put Miss in front of it. But I like their bonding time, but I stand by what I say. I feel like Lindsay may be additional work for Mark, and I think Mark needs more of a support system. So I hope they prove me wrong. Next, we have Elijah, no, Jasmina and Mike. And I like them too. I'm rooting for them. I hope they work. We'll see. But there was a mention about her being a bully. And he kind of made it known that, he'll argue with her too. And I just hope he isn't a a-hole. I'm just gonna say it. I really hope he's not a-hole. Jasmine seems like a really good, sweet person who really wants love and will really treat you right. She's no nonsense, but I don't look at her as a bad person. Also, I am interested to see what's going to happen now with them. Next is Noy and Steve. I love that he proposed with the ring pop. Let me tell you something. When I was younger, that was like one of my favorite pieces of candy to get. And I'm not a big candy person, but I used to just like to wear the ring. I didn't even want to get married. I just like the ring. So I thought that was cute. I think they're cute together. We're just going to have to see what Steve does about his employment situation, or his source of income. Even if he isn't employed, again, what's his source of income? I talked about it before. Maybe he's getting dividend checks from investments. Maybe he has a huge savings account. Maybe he has some real estate or something that's bringing in passive income. So we'll wait to see there. And then Alyssa and Chris. Now, although I agree that Alyssa has the right to her feelings and to her thoughts, and if she feels uncomfortable, that's her right. She can be uncomfortable. I wish she would communicate. I know it's been a very, very long day, and there's a lot to think about. So my question is, I wonder if she may know she's not reacting correctly, I won't say not reacting correctly. Maybe she wants to reevaluate herself before she says what she needs to say. Sometimes you have to check yourself like, am I really tripping or is this really happening? So maybe she's having one of those moments where she needs to sit with herself and figure out her own thought process. I feel bad for Chris because I know this is what he wants. But at the same time, she has a right to feel comfortable and to feel safe. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but that's just how I feel. She may not be attracted to him, and nothing says that you have to be around a person that you're not attracted to, even if you do get married at first sight. People still have the right to their agency, right? These are still strangers. So, we shall see. You know what I noticed about Lindsay? So I'm looking at this scene with Mark and Lindsay is saying how everyone was a taker and everyone this was terrible to her. And I find it very interesting that she never ever says that she did anything wrong or admits to any of her flaws. She strictly talks about how bad or lackluster or incompetent everyone else is. And that's telling. That means that she's not really self aware. And of course, that she doesn't take accountability, which is really a red flag. People like that concern me because that just means they're going to continue to do whatever it is that they want to do because, in their eyes, they haven't done anything wrong or they don't want to admit to it. So interesting. Okay, so I'm watching this scene with Noy and Steve has been saying how he's okay with not having sex, and then he's like disappointed that they didn't have sex. Dude, make up your mind. I thought it wasn't a big deal for you, and then you had the rest of your life for it. Like, Steve, don't turn out to be crazy, okay? I'm begging you. I need you to be stable. You're the older gentleman of the group. I think. Is Steve the oldest? I think Steve is the oldest. So I'm watching Katina and Elijahuan. He's so cute. He was like, she doesn't have stinky breath. He is so funny. But anyway, um, ladies, pay attention to what Olajuwon said. He said he never put, you can say I was cheating, but I never put a label on it. When those men are vague, I have talked about that before. When they're vague and they say things like, let's not put a title on it. Let's just see where it goes. Let's see what happens. That's what they're talking about. He can't really say he's cheating because he's not really committing. So in his mind, he isn't committed. You do not have a relationship until the both of you have come to the terms and agreement of your relationship and you guys establish that you are together and these are the expectations and the requirement of your relationship. That is a very important conversation to have. If they leave everything in the air, that means they are out here playing games and for the streets, and that is not what you want. But I find them cute. I hope they work out. I really do. Okay, back to it. I also like the conversation that they're having. A lot of people don't want to have this conversation because they don't want to be judged. I like that Katina and Olajuwon are kind of talking a little bit about their paths. You have to be careful when you do it though, because like she said, they're married now, so there's more of a commitment there. But there needs to be trust before you reveal too much of yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. But I love the fact that he's like, I have a past. She was honest about what she's done. I mean, so far for where they are, you can't talk about everything early on. You don't want to scare a person off. But I really enjoyed the conversation between the two of them. Okay, now we're on Alyssa and Chris. And Chris says that he felt blindsided. Here's the thing, it's important to read the room. The fact that she really wouldn't spend time with you during the reception should have been a sign. So I'm not sure what blindsided him. I mean, I get it. He's here there to be married. He's married at first sight. They got married. She kissed him at the altar. But once her behavior, her mood, and everything changed, that should have been indication that there is something wrong. And maybe if they had that conversation early on, I'm not sure that would have changed Alyssa's thought process or mine, but maybe they could have had a conversation with his friends. I wish she would communicate as well. I'm really bothered by the fact that she wouldn't talk. But again, sometimes people just need to process things, and maybe that's where she was with it. Okay, so here's my issue. Alyssa's not being honest. I know she's trying to be careful, and I know a lot of people, let's talk about rejection for a minute. A lot of people don't like to reject people, and some people don't like rejection. Really, no one likes rejection. Well, fortunately, I should say, my mother told me no a lot. So I am numb to no. I understand that no may happen. I understand that people may not like me, and those things don't bother me, but I was brought up to understand that in life. Um, but we live in a society now where rejection and being told no for some reason is deemed as unacceptable. I understand what she's trying to do. She's trying to be careful and not blatantly say, I'm not attracted. I think looking at this, that everything just started adding up. She was like, okay, I saw the teeth. She gave him a smile. Gave him a kiss anyway. She tried to talk to him. Maybe she was thinking, you know what? Okay, well, maybe we can whiten his teeth. Maybe we can get the teeth fixed. Maybe we can work out. And then you talk with the friends, and there's no telling what else was said or done. And it's like, okay, he shows he doesn't have self-confidence for one, and that's not attractive. It's a attractive man is confident. Confidence is attractive. So I'm sure that plays a part in it too. And then also, like she said, they talked, and now we have this, we don't see things the same. I don't know if we would live the same life. And then we have the friend saying that he's condescending and he's trying to make you better, which that's an off-putting statement. I get the intention possibly behind it, like, if I'm trying to make you better, but that's a conversation that though Chris and Alyssa should have had, not the friends. As far as in this moment, if I'm doing these things, I'm just trying to support you and make you better, versus the friends just pop it out like, yeah, if he's doing that, he's just trying to make you better. That's kind of off-putting. So I think everything in one just led to her saying, no, this is not going to work for me. And I'm sure she's already anxious. I'm sure she's already worried. I'm sure she's seen other seasons where couples were mismatched and everything that they went through. She seems to be very conscious of her image, and since she does marketing and things like that, she knows how important image is. And I'm sure she doesn't want other people to see the other side of her, because she works in social media. She understands how the person you put on TV can never be erased. So I'm sure all of this in one is an issue, but I think she just needs to let him know blatantly, like, no. Um, so we'll see. Very interesting so far. Okay, so it's the next day and they are meeting the families. First up is Jasmina is meeting with two of Michael's sisters. And they asked her if they consummated the marriage. I'm like, I wonder if production tells them to ask that question, because that's not an appropriate question, in my opinion. I know for some cultures it's like, yeah, because you have to hurry up and get the baby making started. But these people just met each other. Like, I don't know if that's appropriate. So the sisters are telling Jasmina that Mike a lot of times thinks the worst of every situation, and Jasmina feels like that's a red flag. And I would have to agree. That becomes really draining when you're with someone that's a Debbie Downer, that's always the worst is always happening. The world is always coming to an end. And those kind of people too always run. Usually, I can't say always. They usually run as soon as things get a little rocky, like they don't know how to problem solve or talk through things. So I hope he develops the solving skills and learning to communicate through issues and learning to be in the moment and understand things as they are and not what he thinks they should be. So this is going to be interesting. So Jasmina just said all of her relationships have been long distance. I'm sure that plays a large part into why there's been so much infidelity or cheating in her relationships. Long distance relationships are really hard, and I wonder why she's never had local relationships. I love that his sisters are so kind and welcoming, though. They really are sweet. You can tell they're protective of him, but at the same time, they want what's best for him. And I don't see them as getting in the way of that. You know what I mean? So, oh, so sweet. So now we have Mike meeting with Jasmina's family. And I'm just going to say this again. I love Jasmina's mother. You can tell she is so wise and so loving and so compassionate and just really a great woman. I like her. But he's meeting with the sisters and the mom. The dad isn't there. So I love Jasmina's mom's question. She asks, "What was your example of marriage?" That is a great question because people model that behavior and it may or may not be healthy, And so to know how a person views marriage and what they're going to model their marriage out of, because, we could go one way or another. We could be exactly like that marriage, or we can go the opposite, or not have an example at all. And it's a bigger struggle. But, um, so there's a larger struggle because you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and you guys don't have any resources immediately or to pull from to figure it out. I mean, you can always seek help, but you don't have an example, is what I'm trying to say. But, Mike said he grew up around women, and I knew his father couldn't have been around because 'cause I'm like, he didn't talk about his father at the wedding, he just talked about his mom. So he was raised by the women in his family, and the women in his family have basically taught him how to care for women, and the mom, I love what she said, that is concerning and good. That's good and bad because it's good because you've been around women and you understand women, but it's bad because if they've coddled you and treated you like a baby, then you may feel like the woman has to do everything. Like how some men feel like their independent moms did everything, so their wives should do everything. It could go wrong. This is very interesting. Okay. I like mama. I like mama. That's right. You let him know, hey, you have my baby. And you have to think she has taking care of Jasmina when other people have walked out of her life, and I'm sure she's seen all of the hurt and pain and the rejection that Jasmina has been through. And that makes you even more protective. I mean, a parent protects their child with their lives, but she doesn't want any additional pain. And she's right. I don't know you, and this is just superficial. So, but Mike says he sees her pain and he's going to try to prove he's a good guy. Mike, we don't want you to be a good guy. We want you to be a kind human being with integrity. That is what we want. That is what we're going to root for. You're a kind human being with integrity, compassion, and you're going to treat her right or go your separate ways. So now Noe is meeting with Steve's parents, and they seem like such a nice, sweet, wholesome couple. Steve's father, complimented Noe on her cultural wear at the wedding. She was like, I really like that. And then Noe started crying again, which, listen, I am all for feeling your emotions, but Noe cries a lot. And I don't think it's going to get better. And I'm curious as to the source of all of this emotion all of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was her wedding day. That's her culture. I can understand in this moment why she will become emotional. But I'm just like, you've cried a lot, honey. What else is happening with you? I want to talk to Noy. Somebody call her so I can talk to her. And I want to know what's wrong so I can help. Noy is such a hopeless romantic. Oh, honey. So, um, Steven's father said that he is a vagabond. So he's just out here floating around, traveling the world, trying to figure his life out, and asks Noy how she feels about it. And she's hopeful. She thinks it's okay, but she really doesn't want to think about it. I do like the fact that she set a slight boundary and said, we haven't talked about that. So, in other words, I'm not going to go into detail with you guys about my feelings on it because I haven't talked to him about it in detail and I don't know what his true plans are. So, we're not going to go into it right now. But I'm just a smidget alarmed that she's like, oh, well, we're in a good place. Let's just not think about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess you can just live in a moment. But girl, this is your future. And you only have a few weeks to figure it out. So mm, we shall see. But I really like this scene. They seem really sweet. She fits in well with them too so far. I think his family is cool though. What do you guys think? What do you think of Steven's family? Okay, wait, I love this. So, Steven is going to meet Noy's family and Noy's brother, who I think is trying to get a permanent position on the show as a personality. He is too cute. Came in his full drag and was like, "Hey, I'm Sriracha." Everybody else at the table was like, "You just have to do the most, don't you?" Too cute. Noy's brother, though, looks just like her. Like, wow. Okay, back to it. Okay, I am so here for Sriracha. Maybe Sriracha can be one of the experts on this show, but you guys can hire me to be your dating coach. I will be more than willing to help, but I'm not a marriage counselor. But I do know how to build healthy relationships. Anyway, Sriracha's asking all of the right questions for Steve because we are all concerned about this. Like, what is your financial goals? How do you plan on having a family? When are you planning on having a family? And how does that play into your finances? Because again, what if Noy has a high risk pregnancy and she has to be at home? I do know freelance work can make a lot of money, but what about health insurance, things like that? Like there's more to consider, but to be fair to the both of them, it is still very early on, and this isn't a conversation that they've had. So I guess we got to be fair there. So mom signed it off and said to have a baby, you need to have a job, which I think you just have to have financial stability. That doesn't always mean a job, but it does mean regular sources of income. Um, I'm more worried about the health insurance if you're talking about children. And I don't know what Noise does. I don't remember, but if her insurance can handle it. And again, if she has to be off of work for an extended period of time, or if something happens and she can't work, then what can you do? I guess it depends too on how flexible he wants to be, but he likes being a free bird. He's going to really have to do some work to ensure some safety because women love safety. Everyone loves safety. I shouldn't say women, but safety is important. Okay, so now Lindsay is meeting with Mark's family, and this is going pretty well. I'm surprised and very happy. But they talked about how Mark is trusting of everybody almost to a fault, and how he wears his heart on his sleeve. And Lizzie is saying it's nice to be with somebody that's emotionally available and things like that. And I think that's great. But again, like my mind has not changed about these two. What I wonder though with Mark is if you're that trusting, how do you set boundaries? Like, I don't think that Mark will do a good job at setting boundaries and requiring respect. That may be a problem. And then Lindsay will have to intervene. And that's not going to be good because she has like no filter whatsoever. So, woo, they're going to need some balance in this situation for sure. I love that Lindsay asked about how she can be of support to Mark and his mom's situation. I think that was a very good question and it shows compassion. And here's the thing, I know I'm hard on Lindsay, and it's not that I don't think that she is a loving, caring, compassionate person. I just think she has a lot she needs to unpack before she can function well in a healthy relationship. Okay, so now Mark is meeting with Lindsay's friend and family. Well, father and I think two friends, and they have a Lindsay survival kit. So, ooh, let's see what is inside of this kit. My goodness. See, this is what my concern is. So they give him a gift, give Mark the gift bag, the Lindsay Survivor kit, and in it is a snack because she likes snacks. Okay, that's cute, and a no button. And then they start talking about how she goes off the deep end and how you're gonna have to save her off the deep end. It's like he has so much on his plate already. Now he has to worry about his wife falling off the deep end, however she falls off the deep end. Like I'm so worried for Mark. Oh, y'all, let's send some prayers and some positive energy for Mark because oh my goodness. Look at Mark's face. He's like, "What?" The dad is like, "She can be vicious." Oh, lifetime. I'm worried. I'm worried for Mark. And here's the thing. I think Mark has his own set of probably like controlling ways and things like that. But because he's matched with Lindsay, nothing he does is gonna compare to her behavior that's gonna come up. Oh my goodness, look at his face. Poor Mark. Okay, let me get back to it. So, what are you guys' thoughts? What are your thoughts about Mark and Lindsay? Do you think they will make it? Do you think they're a good match? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Like as far as my analysis of the two of them, what are your thoughts? So next, Chris is meeting with Alyssa's family. Let's see how this goes because they weren't that honest with him. Everybody's trying to spare his feelings the best way they know how, but I don't know how good that is really going because it's leaving him in limbo. So Chris is trying to pretty much gauge where Alyssa is via her parents, her family. And they view him as a nice, sweet guy and they think he would be good for her. But Alyssa may not be ready for that. Like physical attraction is really important to someone. Initial physical attraction. And she has her right to that. But if she doesn't want to see more or do more, this just may not be the process for her. You sometimes you just have to cut your losses. I don't feel like anybody is right, wrong, or indifferent. I believe it's just what it is. I think she just needs to speak up. But the family likes Chris for her. If I was the family, though, I would be a little more alarmed. I don't think they know as much as we know about Chris, which is, he's never been single. He's been in relationships forever and he hasn't been married, but he keeps having these long-term relationships. So for me, that's something to look into because why is that? And he keeps saying, it, I'll be what she needs and all of these things. But it's like, who are you? You always want a person to love you and appreciate you for the person you are, not for who you're pretending to be. And I think that's probably what happens. He molds himself into being whatever he feels like people want him to be. And then when he tries to settle into himself, it's kind of off putting. Or he doesn't get the results that he thought being this good guy would get him. So I worry about the both of them. Okay, so now Alyssa is meeting with Chris's. Alyssa is meeting Chris's family, and the guy mentioned how Chris works a lot and there needs to be like some work-life balance. And she's like, well, if you want a wife, that can't be your life. Alyssa just doesn't want anything to do with him because she says she likes ambition and she wanted an ambitious man. So if you wanted all of that ambition and you like an ambitious man, then you know how hard you have to work, especially in entrepreneurship in general. But just being busy with work. Now she's doing what she's doing, and I'm sure that's very time consuming as well. And now she's just like, yeah, I mean, why do you want to be a wife? So to me, it feels like she's just trying to find another excuse to say as to why she doesn't want to be with him. When the bottom line is, I don't know her, but I just think she's not attracted to him. He's not her type. And that's the end of it, which is fine. Just say that though. You don't have to keep taking any little reason to say, okay, no, this isn't going to work. No, that's not going to work because blah, blah, blah. I'm all for her having her own preference, standards, and requirements, but just be honest. This is what it is. And you don't have to tear him apart or pick him apart, I should say, to kind of justify your feelings. Your feelings are valid. You're not interested. You're not attracted. You don't want to do the work to try to figure out if there's something more. So just say that and move on. Oh, now Elijahuan is meeting with Katina's family. I've been waiting on this one. Okay, and so they're also showing Katina meeting with Elijahuan's second mom. And Katina asked a really good question, and she talked about how they spoke, and he was very honest about his past and the things that he used to do. And Katina wanted to know if she felt like, meaning the second mom, that Elijahuan has passed that point in his life. Like, is he still there or no longer there? And she said, I think he came into it with an open mind. And then she gave her a gift. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Oh, that was so cute. So she gave her a t shirt And she said, I was his cheerleader on the sideline, so I'm gonna give this over to you. Guys, I don't remember, did Elijahuan mom pass? I know his dad is gone, but did his mom pass, or is she just for some reason choosing not to be on the show? Has that been stated? I don't remember if that was said or not. Okay, so Olajuwon is talking to Katina's family, and there's a guy there who's pretty much like, hey, either you're here for the right reasons or you're here for the wrong reasons. So let's figure that out. Oh my goodness. So I think we're missing a lot because he said, I want to do something different, right? Olajuwon said, I want to do something different. And the guy was like, I think he's here because he just want to blow up, which very well could be the case. I can honestly say I don't get that from him, but I could be wrong. It's still early on. I really do think, and I said this before, I do think Olajuwon is looking for love and marriage. I think whether he's really truly ready or not is a different discussion, but I do think he's ready for it. I do think he wants it. Let me say that. I think he wants love. I think he wants a commitment. I think he wants a wife. Um, does he know what all that entails? No. Is he prepared? Probably not, because I don't think he's had that example. But wow, this dude called him out. I do like when men have conversations with men, though, because men know men better than we know men, meaning women. So, this is interesting. Okay, so we're on day one of marriage. Let's see what happens, y'all. Okay, so the couples are meeting up just to see how it kind of went, and Steve and Noy are talking. And Noy brought up the question about being financially stable because the father was like, he's a nomad, he's a vagabond, he's just out here swinging, living his best life. And Noy is correct in her concerns. Like, I want to have a family and I need to know where you are financially. And I guess Steve just wants to talk about this off camera, or he's just trying to avoid the conversation because he's like, yeah, we have to talk about it. I'm like, dude, she just asked you about it. So, yeah, y'all can talk about it now. And she looks really worried. So, Steve, don't let us down because we're rooting for you. Okay, buddy? This is very interesting between Elijahuan and Katina. I can't wait to see how this is going to play out because Elijahuan was pretty much like, yeah, old boy was trying to call me out. And Katina was like, he's like a big brother to me. And she's right. I've known him and he's my protector and he's usually a good judge of character. And, I like to know where he's coming from. I do wish they had just kind of taking the time to get to know him more versus just coming in being with the thoughts of him in their mind. But if you see what you see it, right? This is gonna be curious because Katina's right. She should say, hey, if you guys see some red flags, let me know. She also has to follow her own intuition. One thing about having guy friends is that if they are really your friend, they will really have your back. But sometimes they have alternative motives too. So I'm curious as to like, are you projecting, dude? Like, do you really want to be with her? Have you told her that all her guys were bad for her? And not try to offer any real support because maybe you want to be with her. So I have that question also. Okay, so the couples are getting gift baskets, and this is going to be silly, but this is the nerd in me. Why do I love the fact that Elijahuan is wearing Birkenstocks and socks? I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're going to Puerto Rico. I'm so excited for them. That's on my bucket list. Well, I won't say bucket. That's on my to-do list. I want to go to Puerto Rico. Mark is like, do they have hamburgers? Mark, they have hamburgers everywhere, especially in tourist places because tourists come there wanting hamburgers and chicken fingers. So yes, sir, you will have your hamburgers. He's like, can I wear jogging pants? Lindsay's like, no, that stays in the house. I know that's right, Lindsay. We should see. I'm excited for them. I want to go. They should come and pick me up. Okay, I gotta be honest, guys. I'm so excited for Olajuwon and Katina. I know people are gonna be like, "Girl," but listen, I love the fact that he always wants to teach her something and do something and have some fun. Yes, that is a player characteristic, but that's also a charismatic person, and not every charismatic person is a bad person. So I'm like, "Oh, girl, have fun," and she's gonna need a little of that because she used to be a party girl, so she's gonna want to have some adventure and some fun. Her leaf hasn't turned over completely. So I think that's good that he has all of that energy and can, have them have a little fun too. They asked Katina if they thought they were gonna have sex on the honeymoon. She's like, I don't know. I plead the fifth. She's like, girl, we about to have it today. He teaching me how to dance. That's one thing. It is sexy when a man knows how to dance. Too cute. So Mark, I keep calling him Mark. Alyssa and Chris go to their meeting spot because I don't think that's a room for the both of them. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it. Anyway, they go there and Chris Chris has to find himself. Chris has to find himself, right? She's not checking for you. You know what? Say, okay, well, we're going to go on this trip. I'm going to have a good time. Don't try to please her. Don't try to chase her. Don't try to be what she wants you to be. Don't try to make her happy. Don't try to do any of that. Just be yourself. With a woman like Alyssa, that's what you got to do. You got to be yourself. You don't have to be an a-hole like whatever he was trying to say he can be. Be yourself. And when she says she wants her space, if she isn't into you, go do your thing. And then when she's ready, if she ever gets ready, she'll come your way. Fellas, that's one of the mistakes that y'all make with that whole nice guy act is that I'm gonna keep pressuring her, pick me, like me, like me, like me. I'll do whatever you want me to do. That's not attractive. We want to know that you are an individual, you are a human being, and you can stand your ground, and you're not gonna let people run all over you. And right now, he's showing that you can just run all over him. That is not sexy for a man at all because you don't feel like you're gonna be protected with him. Like everybody's gonna be able to bully him and run all over him. And Alyssa is one of those kind of girls that, she strikes me as being in a certain kind of group. You just got to ignore, not, yeah, you got to ignore her. You got to just let her do her thing. You go do your thing. And if she comes, she comes. And if she doesn't, she doesn't. But don't keep running after her. I'm sorry this is happening. Don't take it personal. That's her thing. Just do you, have fun in Puerto Rico, and enjoy the fellas. And let that be that. So the couples are getting on the bus, and already there's some drama. Elijahuan basically explains that Lindsay asked him if he can speak Spanish, and he said a little bit, but when I get there, I'm going to speak English. And she pretty much was like, well, you're in their country, you should speak their language. Okay, you should always respect the culture of wherever you're traveling, but a lot of tourist places know that the people are coming there are tourists, and if they're coming from the states, which Puerto Rico is part of the US, but that, a lot of people are English speaking. As long as I have found when you travel, as long as you try to say a couple of words or learn the language, they appreciate that. You don't have to come fluent. So I don't know why she felt the need to try to tell them what they needed to do, and how they needed to speak. But Elijah wasn't having it. And poor Mark, he's trying to have like a positive outlook. Nothing's going to start our sunshine. And she's over there looking like she's about to cry. But I think this is just how Lindsay behaves. I said it earlier. I think she acts out, she doesn't take accountability, and it's everyone else's fault. She's one of those throw the stone, hide her hand, and don't say anything bad to her, but she can say anything that she wants. I've worked with people like Lindsay. Maybe in another video I'll talk about it. I won't do it here, but yeah, she's the one that keeps the mess going on the unit and then comes to you and tells you how much she loves you, although she's the one that has started all the chaos. It's real toxic. Okay, Lindsay. See, this is what I just said before I even started. Now, they didn't show what happened, but it's interesting that everybody has one side of the story and then she has her own. And again, she is is the victim and now she's not safe. Very interesting. But that's not something you play with. You don't play with saying that a person didn't make you feel safe when you were the aggressor, allegedly, or whatever is happening. I wonder if they're going to show more of this so we can have more context as far as what happened. But I have a feeling that it was Lindsay who probably went too far and didn't like the reaction she got. So they're all out hanging out, and Elijahuan is going to be the peacemaker. Elijahuan is not going to hold anything back. Everybody's going to hear what he has to say and what he thinks. That is for sure. But it looks like Mark is coming down. Oh, so it looks like Katina and Olajuwon are going to be, they're two of the same in some ways. So we're going to see. But Mark came down and apologized and pretty much squashed it. And I like how Olajuwon was like, you know what? You came and apologized. I don't need apology from her. Because Mike asked Olajuwon if Lindsay apologized to him, would that change things? And Mark is like, no. I mean, Olajuwon is like, no, I'm good. Because Mark apologized. Katina's like, I'm only taking her in small doses. I'm gonna set these boundaries up right now. So that's kind of unfortunate because they're just meeting each other and they're on a honeymoon. Like this is supposed to be a good time, but we'll see. But Lindsay is a lot, and her behavior needs to be dealt with by the cast and crew. I feel like they need to really address some of these things if it's getting as far out of hand so early. Oh, so Noy and Steve are out on the balcony sipping champagne, and I guess she's afraid of heights. He comforted her. He's like, "Come here." He put his arms around her and kind of cocooned her. I thought that was really cute. But I thought Noy would be a little more adventurous than she is. She asked him what did he want to do, and Steve's like, "I want to parasail, jet ski, do all the things, right?" And she's looking like, no, I'm trying to go back in one piece. I'm trying to stay alive." But I thought Miss Noisy would be more of interest. I hope she tries new things and have fun and really enjoy her vacation. I think he'll bring that out of her. He really is a free spirit, though. So I think she's finally met her match in that department. Okay, hold on. So Mike and Jasmina are talking, and they are talking about the conflict between Lindsay and Olajuwon. And Mike's like, I assume there's going to be conflict. Now, don't get me wrong. I get where he kind of saying. I understand that, when there's a group of people, something may happen, right? But you don't really just sit on ready for it to happen. And of course, Jasmina is already on guard because her family has already told her how negative he can be. And so I think that's why she really like made sure she stood her ground with that in that moment. That was really Jasmina telling him, I'm not gonna have this negative attitude. You're not gonna always feel like there's a problem. But you can see Mike's arrogance, like, I'm always right. And Jasmine is like, nah, you're not gonna always be right. And I'm not going to walk into a room thinking everything is going to go wrong. This is where, yeah, I know I'm going to go there. This is where healing comes in, because you have to know the difference between what is actually happening and what narrative you're spinning yourself. Or feeding yourself, I should say. He made the comment that, I'm a realist. So if you're a realist and you realize things may or may not happen, you don't just assume that things are going to happen. You don't just come in ready for the issues. And he said he wanted somebody that can challenge him. And now he has to evaluate if that's what he really means. Yeah, because Jasmina's not going to have any of that for you. I actually think it's going to be good for him to have somebody stand their ground and not fold, because you are you. You are the baby. You are Mike. You are the one who usually is the more logical, or whatever his past experiences are. Because absolutely not. You can't just always assume the worst of everything. That is exhausting. To be around someone like that is absolutely exhausting. It makes you not want to go anywhere with them because they're going to always find a way to bring the mood down. And no one wants that. Everything isn't crumbling around you all the time. Woo, child. So Mark came back and did like a little follow up, and he kind of buffered it. I guess he handled it well, but Mark, I know you used to being the buffer and a good guy. You just got to be careful, honey, because she will have you constantly apologizing, constantly cleaning up things. Like I said, that has been my assessment from the beginning. She's going to be so much work for him. And that's sad for me to see because, like I said before, Mark needs someone that's going to be loving and supportive. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Alyssa is a mean girl. I won't say that she is gaslighting him, but I do think she's manipulating the situation. The bottom line is she's not attracted to him. She doesn't want to be near him. She just wants to enjoy her vacation and call it a day. He wants her to admit to something she's not going to admit to because she wants to be seen a certain way. And when they were talking about the conversation he had with the family, and he said that, she was like, I just want to be friends. She felt like that was disrespectful. I'm like, that's not disrespectful. That's what she said. But she said that was a confidential conversation. Now, if that was supposed to be between the two of them, which honestly, I'm guessing so because they asked to take the mic off. Alyssa just doesn't want to be seen in a certain light. That's the bottom line. She doesn't want to be seen in a certain light, just like he's trying to come off as a super nice, caring guy. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying that that is what he wants people to think of him. At this stage, I hope from this day forward, Chris just leaves her alone and doesn't say anything else to her unless he has to. That would be my advice. Give her space. Let her do her. She said it. We're not compatible. Okay, done. That's how I felt with Bao and Johnny. Bao's like steady pressing the issue. No, he told you he didn't like you. He wasn't attracted to you. He doesn't want you. Let that be that. Well, I will give Alyssa credit is she's saying all this early and she's not dragging it out. So for everybody that was mad at Merla because they felt like she dragged it out, which I don't believe that was the case, but we all have a right to our own opinions. Um, she's saying we're not compatible. I'm not attracted. Let's just respect each other and give each other the space. If I was Chris, I would not approach her anymore in any way. So now Katina and Elijahuan are talking, and Olajuwon, they're reviewing what happened with Lindsay, and he said, "I appreciate you having my back," and she said, "Yeah, but I don't like when women bully men." I knew what she really wanted to say. She didn't say it, but basically, she was gonna say, "I don't like when certain women, poke the bear of a certain man, and then when he reacts, then they're gonna play victim." That's what she was trying to say. But I like that interaction. And, he said he wanted that wall to be up. My advice to Elijah Wan would be you have to be careful because I think some of him is projecting his guilt and he wants to feel that she feels okay with staying with him by opening up and letting her walls down. But he has to remember that not only has he had his past, but she has had her past. And it just takes a minute. And you two are just getting to know one another. So just keep fostering a safe environment, keep being there for her, being consistent, communicating, being kind, being honest, and her wall eventually will come down. But vulnerability isn't easy. And although y'all married, because he gonna say that's my wife, everybody needs to know that that's his wife, okay? Which is good, but he's gonna have to be patient. She's still a person with her own experiences, and some of it's going to take some time. And everything isn't about him either. He has to understand that. It's not all about him. Some things are just based on her experience. And I think that's what she's trying to convey to him, on top of her having the concerns about his past. So we'll see. But they're communicating well. I like the fact that they really do have these heart to heart conversations. So that's it for tonight's Married at First Sight. You guys let me know what you think about this format. And this is a glimpse into my mind. This is how I think when I'm watching TV. I can never just enjoy it. When it comes to couples and stuff like that. When I watch old gangster movies, I don't do any analyzing. I just watch it. Or when I'm watching something like the game. Well, I did do some with Game of Thrones because there was a lot of chess play in there. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the content. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your analysis. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Is there something else you want to add? Please put it in the comments below. I appreciate you. And please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. Have a wonderful night or morning. I don't know when I'm going to edit this because it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. So it may take me a minute. Okay, guys, take care. Bye.